Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from group 5. We apologize to the lecturer and friends for the delay of our presentation. And then it's me, Melatil Aska, student ID 2520073. Okay, preschool development of language form. In this chapter, we will study the process of language development that occurs in preschool children. Jadi, di bab ini kita akan mempelajari proses perkembangan bahasa yang terjadi pada anak-anak TK atau preschool kayak gitu. Okay, the semantic syntactic connection. Word learning is related to syntactic knowledge. Children will pay attention to the use of each word. For example, the use of nouns and verb. Jadi pembelajaran ini berhubungan dengan pengetahuan sintaktik dan semantik anak. Anak akan tertarik memperhatikan kegunaan dari setiap kata. Nah, misalnya tuh menggunakan kata benda, kata kerja, seperti itu buat memancing anak-anak untuk ingin mengetahui kegunaan dari setiap katanya. Oke, selanjutnya syntactic and morphologic development. Preschool language development is appropriate into average like can be measured in morpheme. Jadi morpheme sendiri itu adalah satuan gramatikal terkecil yang mempunyai makna. Jadi morpheme itu sudah tidak bisa dibagi lagi ke dalam bentuk yang lebih kecil atau bentuk yang tidak dapat berdiri sendiri. Itu pengertian dari morpheme. Oke, selanjutnya the patterns in preschool language development. Itu yang A, some children under the age of 3 years in production and understanding don't fully understand the subject, verb, object, word, order. Dan yang B itu ada after children are 3 years old, they will use many types of sentence and only generalize to language rules later in their development. Kemudian ada yang C itu children gradually begin to categorize sentence based on their function. Dan yang terakhir itu ada one of the main reason children exhibit certain syntactic patterns in their language is because there are the patterns that are here in the language around them. Kemudian ada born morphemes, English word preschool language development. Itu yang A, some children under the age of 3 years in production and understanding don't fully understand the subject, verb, object, word, order. Dan yang B itu ada after children are 3 years old, they will use many types of sentence and only generalize to language rules later in their development. Kemudian ada yang C itu children gradually begin to categorize sentence based on their function. Dan yang terakhir itu ada one of the main reason children exhibit certain syntactic patterns in their language is because there are the patterns that are here in the language around them. Kemudian ada born morphemes, English word have different endings for each word. Here we will learn how preschoolers develop in this regard. Oke, yang pertama itu ada progressive ing. Verb ing is used to show an action that is in progress or has just taken place and has a duration. For example, I am swimming. Jadi ketambahan ing itu bisa digunakan untuk action kata kerja bisa jadi atau tempat kayak gitu. Misal I'm swimming, aku sedang berenang. Oke, kemudian ada regular plurals as regular plurals marked with S are accurate early when children are 3 years old. At first, to show the object plural using numbers or more. For example, two puppy or more puppy. Next ada possessive S or S. Morphological form are mastered at age 3 And then ada regular past AD. View if any regular past inflected verb, walk, jump, appear and the single word level. Okay, next ada noun and adjective suffixes. During the preschool years, a child begins to acquire a few additional suffixes and nouns and adjectives, and then determinant of acquisition order, the cognitive relationship between the semantic and syntactic complexity of these morphemes and the frequency of use in adult speech help explain development.
Okay, then we will discuss about phrase development. Phrases are units of syntax that are used in the construction of longer units, such as sentence. In short, a phrase is a group of words that function as a single distinct syntactic unit that is less than a sentence and does not contain both the subject, such as noun, pronoun, and the predicate is verb. As such, phrase fill syntactic function in the sentence, such as noun, verb, or adverb, and so on. For example, in the sentence, she was here. Here is an adverb. Then, non-phrase development. Non-phrase development make reference to things in various ways. Your big dog, Derek, my brother, the girl who fell down. In this way, non-phrase act as the noun or serve the function in a sentence. Non-phrase can have many elements and become quite complicated. As you can imagine, it will take several years before a child is able to use all of this easily. Non-phrase elaboration begins when children begin to combine words, but this usually occurs when nouns are in isolation rather than in a longer utterance. The list of early modifiers is generally small, such as big, yaki, my, and only gradually expand as new words are learned. Then articles a and the. The article the and a appear before h, a before h, too, but take some time to master. Initially used interchangeable, it is sometimes difficult to ascertain from a child pronunciation which article is being used. For adult, the indefinite article is used for non-specific reference. A cat does not specify which one, and the definite that denotes specific reference. Pragmatic consideration also influence article use. New information is generally marked with a whereas old information is signaled by the noun or use of a pronoun. Then verb phrase development. A verb is a syntactic element that expresses existence. I am action, she is jumping, or occurrence we thought of you instantly. A verb phrase or VP is a construction that includes the verb and all that follows, including non-pros. In short, verb phrase say something about people, thing, place, and event. Is happy, it, plant the tree. The main verb young children use most frequently in this construction are break, bring, cut, do, throw, drop, eat, find, get, have, help, heart, make, open, play, push, put, read. Then, time and reference. In English, time and reference to that time are marked by both verb tense and aspect. Tense such as past or future relates the speech time, which is in the present, to the event time, or the time when the event occurs. Aspect concerns the dynamics of the event relative to its completion. repetition, or continuing duration. A child's acquisition of tense and aspect reflect both cognitive and linguistic development. Not all language use tense and aspect. Mandarin Chinese use only aspect and modern Hebrew use only tense. Then we will discuss about special case of the verb to be. The verb to be is about am, is, are, was, were. May serve as a main verb or as an auxiliary or helping verb. It is called the copula and is followed by a noun, an adjective, or some adverb or prepositional phrase. For example, in the sentence, he is a teacher, I'm sick, and they are late. The verb to be is the only verb and hence the main verb or copula. All of the sentence contain the copula followed by a noun teacher, an adjective sick, and an adverb late respectively. The copula is not fully mastered until around age 4. For it takes some time before a child sorts through all the copular variation for person and number. Am, is, are, and tense was, were, will be, been. Then prepositional phrase development. Beginning with their first word, English-speaking toddlers use a variety of location words to express spatial relationship in uterine level construction. By age 3, most children have sufficient flexibility to talk explicitly about location, even with 3 participants, as in Mommy put cereal in my bowl. Notice that the prepositional phrase is at the end of the sentence, which is common in early use. Then, infinitive phrase development. At around age 21 or 2, a child develops semi-infinitives such as gonna and wanna. Occasionally, these forms are followed by a verb, as in I want or wanna eat cookie, but at this age they usually are used alone, as in I wanna. By age 3, from such as gonna, wanna, gotta, have-to, and supposed-to are being used regularly, preceding verb to form infinitive phrase, usually in the object position of the sentence, as in I want to eat. Example include I gotta go and I wanna play. The gotta and wanna and the infinitives to go and to play share the same subject. Then, current phrase development. In general, current development follows that of infinitives. Current appear after age 4. They first appear in the object position at the end of the sentence. These forms are used infrequently. The most common form of current are see, ex verbing, and watch, ex verbing. Then sentence development. In general, preschool sentence development can be coached by an increase in the number of sentence elements and in the diversity of sentence forms. Description of this process becomes increasingly difficult as complexity reflects internal movement of elements and diversity results in many forms, each occurring only infrequently. Increase in the number of elements usually occur in declaratives before occurring in other sentence types. The emergence of adult form takes some time. The majority of English-speaking children, however, possess this basic sentence type by age 5.
Okay, now declarative sentence form. A child develop the basic subject-verb-object sentence format by about 30 months. Finally, child acquires indirect object. The subject-verb indirect object from he gave me the ball. A phrase prior to the subject verb object to indirect object from He gave the ball to me. Thus, by age 5, a child is capable of saying she could have given a gift to me. Impressive, but you won't hear it often. Interrogative sentence form. Questioning is a unique example of using language to gain information about language and about the world in general. By 18 months, the questions are mostly tutorial or junior requests for information. Children began to ask questions at the one-word level through the use of raising intonation, through some variation of what, or through phonetically consistent form. At all age, performance in direct relative is significantly better than in question. Taken together, this trend suggests a complex interaction among sentence type, negative, positive polarity, and type of auxiliary verb. Imperative sentence form. Although imperative sentences appear around age 21 or 2, in the imperative form the speaker requests, demand, ask, insist, command, and so on that the listener perform some act. The verb is unified and the subject, you, is understood and therefore omitted. Example include the following: give a cookie, please, throw the ball to me, pass the piece, please. Negative sentence form. 5 adult forms of the negative exist in English. Number 1, not attached to the verb. Number 2, negative word such as nobody and nothing. The third, the determined no used before nouns or noun-like words as in no cookies for you. Number 4, negative adverb such as never and nowhere. And the last, negative prefixes such as an, this, and non. The different form develop at different times. Subordinate clause development. Subordinate or dependent clause are used by language used to combine clause in a certain way that form a complex sentence. Among preschool children, we see two types primarily: object noun, pairs, complements, and relative clause. Clause object noun pairs complements first appear around age 3. In general, the subordinate clause fills an object role for verbs such as think, guess, see, say, wish, know, hope, like, let, remember, forget, look, and show. The verb in the main clause is most often think, as in, I think that I saw a cat. Compound sentence development. Most children have a private production of and to list entities, dog and cat and blah blah blah. Between 25 and 27 months of age, cognitively, children are able to form collection of things. Around age 3, individual sentences within an order series may begin with an, as in the following: and I beat the dog and he barked and I ran home. In this example, and fills a temporal function, meaning and then. Phonemic and phonologic. As with other aspects of language, a child's phonologic development progresses through a long period of language decoding and hypothesis building. The child uses many rules forms that will be discarded or modified later. These rules reflect natural processes that act to simplify adult form or speech from young children. So, speech sound acquisition. In preparation of learned connected speech, listener ask many different parts of the phonemic content to decode the signal. Phonologic process. Syllable structure process. Once a child begins babbling, the basic speech unit used in the GV syllable. During the preschool years, the child frequently attempts to simplify production by reducing words to this form or to the GV structure. Assimilation process. Assimilation process simplify production by producing different sounds In the same way, in general, one sound becomes similar to another in the same word. The assimilation process may be continuous or non-continuous and progressive or regressive. Substitution process. The substitutions are not random and usually are in only one direction. It's often substitutions for example, but only rarely does the opposite occur. In addition, when a child masters a phoneme, it does not overgeneralize to words in which the substituted sound in the correct sound. In actual practice, it may be difficult to decipher the phonologic process a young children in using. Often several processes will be functioning at once. For instance, her real name was Pirska. We see reeducation of the peer cluster. Perception and production. Speech sound perceptual skills in confirmation develop relatively late. Although 3 and 4 years old can be taught to separate the sounds in words, their skills are very limited. Another important factor in perception and production is phonological working memory. And the last, thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.